We're going to talk about Sunday's matchups now. We're going to start with that early Sunday window. We're going to go with the Titans and the Ravens, both sitting at 11 and a 5 ranking. But with the Titans, their offense is ranked third overall, and their defense is sitting 28th. Kind of lower end on that defense. But the Ravens are sitting over here with a kind of subpar 19th ranked offense, but sitting with a high 7th defense. But the thing is with the Ravens and the Titans is they have the top two rushing offenses. Lamar Jackson had just got another 1,000-yard touchdown or 1,000-yard season.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for a quarterback.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to beat, especially coming off a quarterback. But if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Derrick Henry, just running the ball down their throats.
Oh yeah, crowned again for the rushing leader. You got to just give him the crown.
Ultimately, that's what this game is going to come down to.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Titans' defense stop Lamar Jackson? And then can the Ravens' defense stop Derrick Henry?
Well,
nobody's been able to do it this year.
According to previous matchups, the Titans smacked and embarrassed Earl Thomas and the Ravens last time. So
right,
their reputation of matchups ain't looking good.
Well, and this is a rematch of last year's playoffs in the divisional round, where
that's true.
Where the Titans upset the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
You know
the
what
Ravens
I mean?
should have taken that, but I was honestly surprised that Tennessee was able to come away with it as far as they did. But again, that just boils down to the Ravens' defense not being able to put a stop on the rushing game first and foremost, and then their passing game being able to come up big on the third down plays.
You really have to just stop Derrick Henry, and if you can stop Derrick Henry, you can make it a one-sided game for the Titans. Because Tannehill's great, but the only notable receiver is A.J. Brown.
Right, and he's battling injured right now too.
Yeah.
So you have to figure that.
So if you can
you still have Corey Davis, who is a big, strong receiver that will go up and get the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
is that something that they can rely on all four quarters every down?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it comes down to Ryan Tannehill throwing the football 50 times this game, I don't see the Titans winning.
I really don't either.
Derrick Henry has to have a 100-yard game.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And
yeah.
it needs to be established. Their offense needs to go through Derrick.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone through it all year long.
Well, Derrick Henry goes through
change it now?
defenses.
Mm-hmm.
He carves the way for their offense to start scoring points because they commit on the run, so the passing game gets
that's the thing. Okay, if you have a good running game where you have to load the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
that all eight guys
that opens up for play action.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that allows Corey Davis to get open downfield, A.J. Brown to do his thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so confused how Ole Miss didn't win more games in college with having DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. I'm confused because both of those receivers are stellar players.
Well, who's the quarterback for Ole Miss? They can be great receivers, but if the quarterback can't get them the ball.
It blows my mind. It's like you had these two, and you know,
absolute studs on the offense.
Right.
That's just like with Alabama. Alabama, Jerry Jeudy, Ruggs the third.
Alabama's
you
a
had
totally
a
different
stacked
conversation.
offense, and then you had Tua.
Well, it's a totally different conversation, but we're getting off topic. Okay.
All right, but we'll go with Titans and Ravens. Austin, let's start. What's your prediction on Titans and Ravens? Give me your spread.
I think that it'll be pretty close, and whoever defers in the first half, whoever takes it away in the second half, right off the kickoff, is going to end up being the winner. Either it's going to be a Derrick Henry breakaway touchdown for 60-plus yards, or it's going to be a Lamar Jackson 50-yard bomb. And, I don't think it's going to come down to field goals. I'll tell you that right now. I think it'll be a pretty high-scoring game in general just because those defenses aren't going to be super spectacular against these types of offenses. But I think overall the Ravens probably have an edge this year. And honestly, I'd say that they have a really strong bet at making the playoff or the
divisional.
Yeah, the division.
Okay. What are you gonna say? Who are you going for?
Honestly, with this one, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
Just because Tennessee's been running through the league all year long.
Fair.
You know, there hasn't been a team that can truly stop the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Even the great number one ranked Steelers front seven, they had issues with Derrick Henry. And that is a loaded front seven. That's something we'll talk about later in the show. But I'm seeing the Titans coming out with this one. For me, as far as the score, I'd probably say I don't disagree with it being a high score, but probably 31-24 is what I'm thinking.
See, I was thinking probably like 35-34.
35.
I think
Oh,
it'll be
by
like
a point.
I think it'll be a last minute like score that just sets them up.
Or
right
just that last minute field goal, like it's all within touchdown, but they're just held at that last run for a touchdown, and that field goal wins at the end, like 2 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the Titans, just because that Titans offense is pretty strong. I mean, again, if you can't solve the problem with Derrick Henry, you can't beat the Titans.
Right, and nobody's been able to do it this year. He
Last
rushed for
year
over
as well.
2,000 yards for a reason.
Yeah. He's done
I
it
don't
twice
know.
now,
Well-
back to back. All right, so now let's talk about Sunday's midday game. We're sitting against the Saints and the Bears. The Bears squeaking in with an 8-8 record, and the Saints sitting on top of the NFC South,
Yep.
sitting 12-4. The Saints sitting with a respectable 12th on offense. Drew Brees got hurt; he was out for a little bit. You had Taysom Hill come in and be a permanent. But their defense is sitting at 4th, which is not bad. Cam Jordan, the defense holding up. The Bears sitting at 11th on defense. Khalil Mack keeping people together, but kind of a lackluster 26th on offense because of their quarterback situation with Trubisky and Nick Foles. But why don't we discuss about activating playoff Nick Foles, Austin, on the Bears? What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Honestly, I think that the Saints are just going to run away with it. And I think it'll be pretty early, too. I think that's going to be one of those games where they get a 2-touchdown lead and they just kind of hold on to it. Regardless of if Chicago comes alive in the second half, I don't think that it's something they're going to be able to come back from.
When I feel Alvin Kamara might just have another heyday, like he
God.
did on Christmas Day.
That'd be a lot of fun to watch, though.
Right, okay, so he ran for 6 touchdowns on Christmas Day, okay. Great.
Second person to do that.
Right. What, he was playing with the Vikings?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Bears, 8-8, barely making it into the playoffs by a win.
Right, well...
So it's only one step higher than the Vikings, so it's not much better.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, so what do the Bears have that the Vikings don't? Okay, they have Khalil Mack. They have Akeem Hicks. Their front four, everybody all-pro. Leonard Floyd, Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack. They're going to stop the run. Even if you go from Alvin Kamara to Latavius Murray, you're not going to be able to run between the tackles in that game. It's just not going to happen.
But then what if he goes out for receiving? What if they activate him?
And they have the stellar rookie corner for the Bears. He's a stellar cornerback. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say he's not quite a lockdown because it's only his rookie year. But, they have corners out. They have their safety.
And so they got to be good with that zone because if Alvin Kamara goes out in that flat.
Now, don't get me wrong. Alvin Kamara, he is a superstar player. But all year long, he's been real hit and miss. He has been. He's been real.
Yeah.
The consistency with him is not like his rookie year.
With the defenses that can shut him down on the run.
Right. And as far as Bears offense versus the Saints defense, and like you said, unless they unleash Nick Foles,
Playoff Nick Foles.
I don't see the Bears doing anything against this.
He won the
defense.
Super Bowl
They're
for
not
the
going
Eagles.
to. You have Marshawn Lattimore in corners. Yeah, their safeties aren't great, but they're good enough to win this game.
Yeah, but the Bears
the front
offense...
four for the Saints, they have allowed 100-yard rusher in the last 46
Exactly,
games.
that's what I'm saying. The Saints defense is just going to stop.
Right, so this is going to come down to
Bears offense.
This is going to come down to how good the Saints offense is, how well they make it work. Yeah, you have Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, he's coming off a serious injury still.
Well,
doesn't matter how many weeks it's been. You broke 11 ribs and a punctured lung.
You punctured a lung. You have that,
Yeah, but his first game back, he still put up some serious numbers anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but you got to be hurting a little bit.
For me, honestly, with this game, what are they going to do with Taysom Hill? Where are they going to put him?
He's going to be that wild
because
card
he's going to be that mismatch because he's a mismatch wherever he goes on offense.
He's going to be the guy that comes in on second down and really
right. He's going to be that gadget player. If
Mm-hmm.
Taysom Hill has a good game being the gadget player that he is, then they're going to win this game by a lot. If he doesn't do what they want, you know what I mean, as far as yards wise or production, then it could be a close game. I could see it being a very defensively rounded game.
And that's if they have playoff Nick Foles. Let's be real.
Right.
Well, because this is the biggest stage for Trubisky in his professional career.
Exactly. He was in the playoffs 2 years ago, and he
was he? Did they make the wild card?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So okay.
Did they win that game?
No.
All I'm saying is Mitch Trubisky is going to have one hell of a time dealing with that defense.
Yes.
Trying to air the ball out, we know that he can't run super great anyway. I genuinely think that if playoff Nick Foles shows up, we got a game. If he doesn't, it's going to be the Saints running up and down the field, and their defense is just going to have a lot of fun.
But I've said this in the past. What's the one way to stop the Saints offense? Shut down Mike Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have to run the ball, because even with Emmanuel Sanders, he's had a decent year, but it's nothing spectacular.
I think Mike Thomas is still out on IR.
Is he still out?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still out.
Exactly. Okay, so that's the thing. So
but that's why they've been relying on
They're going to do these
Kamara.
4 or 5 dink and dunk yard plays to Alvin Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he had a career high this year with 89 receptions. You know, so because they haven't had that.
You got to move people around.
And Drew Brees, he doesn't go deep. I don't know age,
he doesn't got
whatever
that strength
it is.
anymore.
But that's not how that offense is
25,
designed.
30-yard play, but he won't go for the 50-yard long
Well,
ball to the open
right, he'll
receiver.
get that 25, 30-yard play, but he'll throw it 15 yards, and then it's yak. It's all yak. You know, that's how it's been all year. But
all right, so what's your guys' prediction on this?
If I had to give a true prediction, I think it's going to be close to, I would say probably 24-10.
24-10 Saints?
Yeah, Saints.
What about you?
Me, depending on how the way I look at it right now, 30-10 Saints.
30-10 Saints. I don't know. I still feel pretty confident with the Saints. I'm going to give the Saints the win. I'll give them a 36-10 for them. I feel like that offense is going to hit them.
Across the board, Chicago's not going to score a whole lot.
All right. The game I'm kind of excited for, like I was excited for the Buccaneers and the Washington, is I'm ready to see the Browns and the Steelers Sunday night game.
Okay.
Browns sitting 11-5. 11-win first time since, what, it was 2002, they said?
No, I think it's 1994.
Yeah.
94.
It's been
First time they've won 11 games since 94.
Yeah.
The Steelers.
The last time they lost to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yep, in the
The
playoff
Steelers had a rough end of the season. You go 11-0, and all of a sudden you just start tanking the rest of the games hard. I blame them on the schedule. I think they just played weak teams the whole time, and then good teams formed at the end of the season and kicked their ass. But we'll talk about stats right now. The Steelers sitting at 24th ranked offense. Not that great, even with Ben Roethlisberger throwing that ball. He's slinging it like crazy to.
You got Juju. You got Claypool.
Yeah, Claypool. You're
he's
throwing
not
it to
playing
Claypool.
super great though.
No,
I mean
his percentage is not there.
But
He
their
can throw it
defense-
50 times, but if he's only completing 25 of them, that does not matter.
It's not stellar. But their defense, T.J. Watt and the defense is holding them up. They're ranked third right now.
T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward.
Yeah, but the Browns are pretty even. They're 16th and 17th offense, defense, respectively. So they're kind of like how the Buccaneers were. They're kind of tied.
Right.
Or not tied, but
Miles
kind of
Garrett
balanced.
off of injury reserve?
He's questionable.
He's
for
questionable
this game.
right now. He'll be there. We both know that.
We know he's going to be there.
Well, it's not only is it a playoff game first for the Browns in a while, but it's an AFC North rivalry game.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a different game.
Yeah.
This
It's a
playoff
different game.
is set up with a lot of AFC North. You got 3 teams from the AFC North in here.
Right.
That's a stacked division.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, Ben's going to come out doing what Ben does. He's going to have a great first, maybe second quarter, and then come around once the Browns really get it in their system, what's happening and what's at stake. I think Baker's going to come out and start making some serious plays down the field. And it's not something that their defense, they got a great pass rush defense. Their safeties and their corners, I don't think are quite as up to par when it comes to, especially trying to lock down the receivers that Cleveland has. I don't think that ultimately Pittsburgh's going to have very much fun with this one.
Well, and it's going to be rough, but besides Mika Fitzpatrick and Hyde's not on that team anymore.
No, Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden. I mean, those are the most notable ones on that Steelers secondary over there, besides T.J. Watt being your pass rushing go-to guy.
But here's my thing. Okay, who do they have as a receiver? Okay, you have People Jones, that's a third-year guy that's he's hit and miss. Plus he's coming off a concussion.
Yeah, he's off the slot.
Okay, and then you have Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry's made some big plays for him.
No, he is. He is an all-pro receiver. But my thing is, just shut him down. What do they have? Their tight ends are hurt. They don't have.
Yeah, because Odell's out with the ACL.
What's going to come down to? Because Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, that's what they run their offense through, is through the rushing game. Okay, and now you're dealing with the number one defense with T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward.
Well, if you look at look at the last game that they played against each other, it was 36-35.
Right, and that was without Big Ben. That was without all their starters. You know what I mean? That was week 17.
Mason Rudolph played that?
Yeah.
I thought it was Big Ben, though.
Well, there was a big thing because it's like Myles Garrett and Rudolph back on the same field again. It was dumb.
That was without their Hall of Fame quarterback. So,
I especially just because I've really dived in deep for the last 5 or 6 games from Pittsburgh, I do not think Big Ben's going to show up the way he needs to. He may get a couple of good plays, but his overall completion percentage is not there in order to completely shut down their defense.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that you have to realize, though. What have the Steelers not had the last 6 weeks? Rushing game.
Yeah, they haven't had a running game.
James Conner, I'm sorry.
I
love the story. It's a heartfelt story.
It's a heartbreaking story,
You know what I mean?
man.
I love the story.
He beat cancer.
But he is not the running back of the future.
No.
If the Pittsburgh Steelers, what they need to do in this draft is they need to get a running back. If they had a true running game like they used to have with Le'Veon Bell, then there's no question.
Well, and they're also going to need to find a way to get somebody who's not Mason Rudolph to help replace.
Well, right. I mean,
I know. I'll give Mason Rudolph credit where it's due, but he is a second-string quarterback.
There's no depth in the
he's
Steelers.
not.
He's the guy that comes in to clean up if you're like super ahead or your quarterback's
right.
injured.
He's a game. Yeah. He's a manager. He's a game manager.
Yeah.
He's not a starter. He's a manager.
He's not a guy that'll win you football games, but he's not going to lose the game for you either.
Right. Well, and see, this is my biggest thing with the Browns. Is Baker Mayfield? Is he a franchise quarterback? Can you truly believe? Can you say?
So this is where I get biased.
Here's my thing. I've never seen a quarter. Now, granted, this wasn't on him, but when OBJ, before he got hurt, he was force feeding him. Now, granted, that's a big ego. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Odell is huge in ego.
Right.
He does one great catch in New York.
But that's what you're trying to force feed, even though it's hurting you. You know what I mean? Just to try and keep one guy happy.
Yeah.
You were better off You're better off with him without him. Pardon me. You know. So it's like. But I just don't think
now that they don't have that mouth to feed, though, there's a lot to go around.
Right, but they're doing a lot of gadget plays. Yeah. Jarvis Landry, he's thrown 3 touchdown passes this year?
I mean, he's a good backup quarterback, too.
Right, you know. But they're doing a lot of gadget things because you can't if Baker Mayfield has to throw the football 50 times, you're not going to. He's, I would almost, to me, say a better version of Ryan Tannehill. You're not going to.
Who's the running back?
For
Cleveland.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb and Carlos Hyde.
No, Kareem Hunt.
Or Kareem Hunt, thank you.
Yeah.
It's the second time.
Frick!
Right.
I don't know, man. I think if they're able to split it up well enough, I think that Cleveland's going to give them a serious run for their money.
Right.
And my dad is a Pittsburgh fan, so I've been a Pittsburgh fan for as long as I can remember.
Well, right. That's how we. That's how we are.
Right.
It's like, you know. So this is kind of.
But that's why, I was gonna get biased there for a second, and I'm gonna go with the Browns just because I like a good underdog story.
Right. I would love to see the Browns do good because they've been bad for years.
For so long.
Years.
Well, in that fan base, they got the team taken away from them in '94, and they haven't been good for a long time.
Right.
They deserve a playoff win, like the Browns fan base deserves a playoff win.
But if they can't get that running game going, which I don't know if they can. I mean, T.J. Watt led the NFL with 15 sacks this year.
I think he bumped up.
Did he
yeah, he got the title, though, for most sacks on the season.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
barely beat out Aaron Donald.
You know, but so there's that. You know, the Steelers' secondary is questionable. You do have Minkah Fitzpatrick, which is... He was a whole lot better last year than he is this year. You know, Joe Hayden, I think he's definitely on the downward spiral with his career. And that's another thing, too. He was with Cleveland for the first 3/4 of his career. So this is going to be a different game for him, too.
Yep.
Almost like a vengeance thing.
Right, you know, so...
Scoring on my old team, kicking him out of the playoffs.
My thing is, it's going to come down to the running game for the Browns. If they can get that running game going, then they have a chance. And with the Steelers, they're going to have to do something. They can't throw the ball 50 times against Cleveland. Why? Because with Myles Garrett, he's a top 5 defensive end in this set. Probably top 2. Probably top 2 is what I'd say.
Solid pass rusher.
Him and Aaron Donald both are in the Pro Bowl.
Right, exactly.
Defensive ends, and Cam Hayward is up in the one in the middles.
What did Aaron Donald get one of the unanimous votes like Travis Kelce did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
no,
whatever.
he
It's
did.
just
Yeah.
like hands down.
But I mean that's my
he's
thing. Like,
going.
so you can't throw it 50 times against this team because you're not going to be able to. Myles Garrett's going to get there. Mm-hmm. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. They're gonna get inside, but Baker can at least scramble.
Right, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
Ben
Ben's a
can't.
statue.
Ben is a fucking
Watching Ben run hurts me.
He's literally
Just this
the Big
arthritic
Ben clock tower. That's it's
Right.
him.
Ultimately, I would love to see Pittsburgh win. I really, especially with how they've been playing, I really don't think it's going to happen.
I want them to win the Super Bowl, or I want them to win and try and get to the Super Bowl because I know this is going to be Ben's last season, and I would like to see him go out on top, obviously. But it's the Browns. I'd rather see the underdog come out on top and show that the Steelers were kind of overrated this season.
What's
Heavily
your
overrated.
prediction then for how
I'm
going to
go Browns. It's going to be close. I'm going to go 24-26.
Okay.
A field goal difference.
For me, I mean this one. I honestly don't know who's gonna win. I can't pick one side.
It's hard to.
I think for me it's gonna the score is gonna come down to 30-28, and I don't know who's gonna win.
It'll definitely be another defensive game solely because of the pass rushing, their pass rushing front.
Exactly.
If the Browns have a good rushing day, they win this game. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm gonna say. If the Browns can run the ball like they have all year long, then they will win this game.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at too. The pass rushing on both sides of the field is going to really be the deterrent in terms of keeping it. Mm-hmm. But considering that Pittsburgh doesn't have that sort of rushing game in their arsenal right now, I'm going to give it to the Browns. I'll give it another close one though. I'll say it'll probably end up being like 36-33. I think it'll be about a field goal away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be close. I just don't feel it'd be very high scoring because of the defenses.
I'll also say this. I'm saying there's going to be 6 field goals made in that game.
6? Not a single touch. Okay.
No, there'll be touchdowns.
No, there'll be a touchdown,
there'll be 6
so
field goals.
I
So
believe
probably
that.
3 apiece.
I would say their red zone defenses are pretty strong. Again,
They're
Big Ben
both
can't
very
move, so that pass rush is more dangerous to him than it is to Baker when Baker can get out of the pocket.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm going to make a bold prediction right now for this game. But I can also see Big Ben throwing 4 touchdowns in this game.
I could see him going off.
Yeah.
So I can
that's
see
the
him
thing,
going off.
Is if playoff Ben shows up,
Yep. So that's
got a completely different conversation.
Right. That's my bold prediction.
But going off of the last 6 games, it's just not likely to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's my bold prediction is
We know Juju's gonna play great.
He's
as
gonna
long
do
as he
that
doesn't
TikTok.
dance on the logo, I was like,
yeah.
they have
he
a
doesn't
chance.
Piss everyone off.
Right. That's the thing. Right.
He sparks that fire before the game even starts.
Right.
It's like, you animal, you're just feeding them more energy to kick our ass.
Right. But no, that's my bold prediction is Ben goes off in this game. I can see it.
All right.
I can see it.
Well, that's perfect.
So I like that.
That's what you've heard from us in our rambling and our opinions on the Super Wild Card weekend for Sunday's triple header. And again, whether you agree with it or not, there it is. That's what we think. If you like it and want more, you're going to get it anyway. So we're going to send it out. Again, my name's been Courtney. Here to my left has been Austin. And down over there has been Brennan. And we've just been talking about the sports this weekend. And we peace
Drunken
off for
Sports
tonight.
Desk.
Sports Desk!